a lot of leaders, they have a lot of things to do in their life. Like, just because they're leading something, it's a bunch of things that they have to do and think every day.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end, what should be like the key things that they should focus on? Like that, what should be like goals that they should have as leaders? Like not like a goal for their ministry, but a goal for themselves. Like me as a leader, what should I try to accomplish?
I really appreciate that distinction between the goal for the organization, which obviously is fundamental to the health of the organization, but in a similar way, fundamental to the health of a leader are things that he or she should be focusing on. So let me share a few. And one thing that for me is tremendously important, can't stress it enough, is to infuse or to permeate the team with a clear sense of what's the reason we do what we're doing. Mm-hmm. So the leader needs to be clear in what their personal motivation drive is. What is it that's making them take this position? So, a lot of people have different ones of those. In our line of work, there's obviously the bigger picture of hastening the second coming of Christ, but there's also these personal aspects. How many people can I bless? How many people can I help? Whatever it is for that particular leader, for them to be very clear in what is it that motivates them, and then helping each of their team members connect into those team members' individual motivations. Like, what is it that makes you do this? Why are you doing this? Like when we talk about strategy, we often talk about what we're going to do or how we're going to do it, but we very rarely talk about why are we doing it. And it's that why part of the equation that really motivates people, galvanizes people, brings the whole thing together. And if an organization, if a leader can give the team that sense of a higher why, a higher cause, it just helps so many different things. For example, in the book Education by Ellen White, there's a chapter called The Life Work. And she mentions, the goal of giving the gospel to the world in this generation. That's a motivating aim for us. Okay, so that's really big up there. What's my part in that? What's my individual contribution to that? What are my team members' individual contributions to that? So helping the team see that to me is really important. Another thing, and everything I'm going to say really focuses on the team, because
that's what leaders do.
That's exactly right. They lead a team. Thank you. If you're leading and you turn around and no one's following you, you're not a leader yet. Yeah. Right? True. Maybe you're very advanced and people just haven't caught on yet. But yeah, right. That's happening. But you think about it, really. The most significant event in all of cosmic history is the death of Christ. And he had a team, 12 men, that he was willing to turn it all over to. So that's really essential. So imbibing, filling people with that main purpose, that's number one. Second, and I think we alluded to it in a previous conversation sometime, was this building of trust. That people know that you have their back and that you're going to be honest with them, you're going to be transparent with them, you're thinking of them, you want what's best for them. Now, there may be times when a team member needs to move on. Yeah. But a leader can do that in such a way, and should do it in such a way, that they come to the point where, really for your benefit, you think you should find something else to do. You don't really look happy here, or, your skill sets. But the common thing in some of our ministries and in corporate world generally, for sure, is when there's a problem, we just start laying people off, and there's no real concern for the individual. That breaks down trust. And unless people get that sense that the leader's committed to them, very rarely is the team really going to put on the line for the leader. So building trust is another big point of what a leader should be doing. Another major point, and this has been kind of a new thought for me, but I think it's really helpful, is to learn to see ministries or organizations or people, perhaps, that are doing something similar as we are, not as competitors, but as someone uses the term worthy rivals, someone I can learn from, someone that causes me to do better. So, for example, let's talk about lifestyle centers. There's quite a number of lifestyle centers in OCI, and there are lots of churches around the world, and sometimes we feel competing, like for members or for guests at a lifestyle center or programs. But we shouldn't feel in competition because we're playing for a different purpose. We're playing for my main aim, which is to hasten the coming of Christ.
Yeah.
And if you're doing something better than I am, I should rejoice in that. And I should say, wow, that's going to motivate me. How can I learn from you? Yeah. How can I do better? Or maybe let's join forces, But too often we become antagonistic. And so I think that's another really important aspect of leadership. So 3 main things, I would say. Be very clear in your own personal motivation and help team members to grasp that themselves. Secondly, to build this rock-solid foundation of trust in the organization that people are going to be able to withstand anything that happens. And then thirdly, look at other organizations not as competitors, but as someone you can learn from. So if the leader can accomplish those 3 things, they're going to be a successful leader.
Now, for every leader that is watching, is there something that they can do where they are right now that it can improve their awareness of all of this right away?
Yes, and I'd be happy to help. So one of my main passions is blessing, serving other people. So I have a document, a handout that I'd be happy to share with your listeners.
Okay, great.
That will walk through these 3 main areas, give some concrete advice or concrete tips, not advice so much, but tips that you could put into play to help foster those areas. And I'll actually throw in 2 extra bonus areas as well, which they won't know until they get the document.
So guys, that document is going to be in the description below, just with a link there. You can click and get it right away. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Write in the comments whatever you want to know in the next video that we will do, and see you in the next one.